Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today, unsurprising to many of you because you guys are astute, you guys are shrewd, you pay attention, you are aware. So from the Washington Post, Epstein text with House Democrat during Cohen hearing, documents show. Newly released documents from the convicted offender's estates include text messages from him that appear to influence the lawmakers' questions to Trump's personal attorney at a 2019 congressional hearing. So, ladies and gentlemen, this Epstein dangling on the carrot we have seen now for actually several months, but this is a continuing dangling of the carrot, as I call it, and an illustration that I used, that I made with ChatGPT, nonetheless. Of course, my crack staff, ChatGPT. And it illustrates exactly what's happening here, and that is, of course, the Democrats trying to implicate and trying to sully Donald Trump, but instead they end up revealing that they're the ones that were more the nefarious types, right? So we have the newly released documents from Jeffrey Epstein's estate show that the offender texted with a Democrat member of Congress, that would be Stacey Plaskett, of the U.S. Virgin Islands during a congressional hearing with Michael Cohen. Now, you guys may remember her also arguing about allowing for the U.S. Virgin Islands to vote. Now, the U.S. Virgin Islands, like Puerto Rico and other U.S. territories, they can vote in the primary, in other words, to select the candidate, but they can't vote in the general, for those of you who are just wondering. And that those text messages have influenced the Congresswoman's questions of Cohen, President Donald Trump's former personal attorney and fixer. And, of course, as you know, when all this was going on, we'll go ahead and take a listen to this, and then I'll explain. Giving me the business, as always. Yes, okay, we know that. Is it not going to show it? Not going to show the video. Okay, wait a minute.
This was when Barack Obama was president of the United States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record, yes or no?
Yes.
Question, you helped out the president's campaign or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman, even in your words today. It was your idea for the campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rhona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
They
and
are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So, Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Ms. Rhona, what is Ms. Rhona's position?
Rhona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot.
So you see the text messaging. This was the text messaging that was happening in real time. So the Democrats haven't exposed anything new about Trump, but they are exposing a lot of new things about themselves. And this is what's extraordinary, because every day we see this from the Krasensteins and from the left. Every single day it is something new. And here we have him exaggerating and sensationalizing again. So we have Mark Epstein, Jeffrey's brother, just said Republicans are scrubbing the Epstein files. And here's the thing, like we see here from Johnny Midnight. Obama sealed his records. Biden didn't release anything his 4 years. Just censorship for America. Democrat judges have blocked it until now, and if he gets it released, you still won't be happy because it will be all Democrats on the list, just like the judge that blocked it. So here they are. So they try to talk it up about Donald Trump all this time, all these months, and now that people are starting to see that it was more the Democrats' underhanded scheming and conniving that was going on, now they have to come up with an outlet, right? They have to come up with an exit plan, because if it is released, it's going to potentially have just as many Democrats as potential Republicans or other individuals. Here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. There are people that are going to be named on this or in this list that have nothing to do with Lolita Island, have nothing to do with any of the involvements of what Jeffrey Epstein was involved in, because they're simply on there because these are individuals that were within the orbit of or around the area of where Epstein lived or they did work for Epstein, or there was other things that were going on, because people can conduct their lives doing ordinary things while having this seedy, dark activity that they involve in. Doesn't mean that everyone who is named or around him are involved in it. And this is the ridiculous, despicable behavior by the left, who play this game that everyone is dumber than they are. They'll explain to you how to think, what opinions to have, and what's actually happening. And in reality it's just their game. They're angst-filled, they're hate-filled, they're angry towards Trump. They spend their entire day, like Krasenstein, they spend their entire day, ladies and gentlemen, all day long, you just exacting their angst out because they hate Donald Trump. Now, we see various other posts on this, because this was what everybody was exposing, was this text messaging that was going on with this rep from the Virgin Islands. And so now, of course, now they've had to completely change the game. Democrats are scrubbing to defend their members, and see how they are scrambling. I'm sorry, I was using the other term. Democrats are scrambling to defend their members, and more evidence of their collusion with the activity is made public. This weekend, we've learned that the Hakeem Jeffries and Stacey Plaskett solicited money from Epstein and even coached Stacey on what questions to, I guess, ask. What questions to ask during the Trump. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is a continuing battle. And as Donald Trump likes to say, and I do as well as my own personal person, and that is, they are distracting from what Trump's accomplishing. He is accomplishing. Donald Trump has done more in the last 9 months than presidents have done altogether in decades, what Donald Trump is doing. But the left is full of angst. They're full of hate, of course, because it's not their guy making the decisions. It's not them that look good. It's not them making these accolades. It's not them making these accomplishments. It's not them making these achievements. They've got to bury Donald Trump. And a lot of that reasoning, a lot of the reasons why they get this angry and why they do what they do is because they do all this because Donald Trump uses a very similar strategy that they do. And that is to push the boundaries, blur the lines, and put your enemies on defense. And it's sad because everyone has to get caught up in the game. Instead of seeing the results orientation, how is this helping Americans? How are Americans going to improve in their daily lives? Instead, they want to get in these petty, thin-skinned, personal attacks against each other. It's extraordinarily stupid. Donald Trump wants to do his job. He doesn't want to be messed with. He doesn't want all this nonsense. That's why he resorts to very general conversations like hoaxes and these things like that. He uses these very loose terms, but to try to express to everybody that this is just nonsense. But nonetheless, guys, let me know what your thoughts and comments are down below on this Epstein dangling of the carrot. It seems like the Democrats have had to have run out of every possible thing they can find, right? Out of every possible insult, out of every possible denigration towards Trump that they can come up with. And now they're trying to cling to this Epstein, while then at the same time then having to warn everybody that, well, maybe it won't have exactly what you think is in there because, well, probably Republicans mess with it. If anybody was going to mess with it, it would have been the individuals who had these documentations far longer, way before Donald Trump did. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. That's the people on BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey. You guys have been amazing, the people. And, of course, everyone here on YouTube, you guys have been fantastic here in 2025. And I want to thank all you guys. So appearing there on the screen, that's going to be the channel icon. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notification. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.